Hi traders. Um, I want to introduce to you guys my second account which I use to trade indices. So I have four different types of index here that I actually want to show you guys, and you can see that I'm not using my normal wave trader template. This template I use only the EMA 200 as the indicator on my chart, and my second template I actually use just the MACD. So in essence, you could say that I'm actually trading using principally the action of price, namely support, resistance, trend lines, and Elliott wave scenarios. So I'm on the US 2000 index right now, and you can see here on the daily time frame that I just by drawing these two lines, creating this ascending wedge situation. This has enabled me to see the action of price, and you can see I'm basing my entry on the area of resistance here. So if I go down to the 4-hour time frame, you can see what happened. So price actually gave us an Elliott wave situation here, 5 wave situation. You can see if you count it from here, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So right now we are in the corrective phase, which looks like a flat correction. So of course I do expect that prices will go higher later. But right now I'm in a short trade, and I took this trade based on the fact that once price achieved the high point here, came down, was supported at this level and went up, you could see that price could not get back to the same level that it was. So this created a nice wave top situation, or a 1 2 3 situation, and I based my trade off of that. So I placed my trade here, placed my stop above the number 1 point initially, and then once price began to move in my favor, I moved my stop just to protect profit. Okay, you can see that right now we are bouncing off of this minor level of support here, but I'm hoping that this move should bring me down to this general area here, because I have a scenario that I always observe happening on the charts. When you have a situation that looks like a positive divergence like this, you usually get a wave bottom situation. So this big positive divergence situation I'm seeing here should bring price to this region. And the reason why I placed my profit target here is very simple. By taking the Fibonacci from this low level here to the topmost level, you can see that my 62% or 61.8% to be exact is exactly here. So I expect prices to fall to this region eventually before heading back up. Okay, and if I take you back to the daily time frame, you can see that that makes sense, because we are in a sort of we are trapped between these two lines right now. So at the very least, I expect price to come to this EMA 200 here and be respected. Okay, so that's the US 2000 index. The next one is US 30, and the reason why I like the index is because they all move in tandem. So you can see that I drew parallel lines on the daily time frame for the US 30 as well. And you can see that the market is doing basically the same thing as it did on the US 2000. So we had a high point here, and then the market had no power to go to that level, creating a sort of 1 2 3 top, and I based my trade off of that. Okay, so if I go down to the 4-hour time frame, you can see the same scenario just like the US 2000, and you can see how steeply the market is falling. So of course I expect there to be some form of support in this region, but because we have a wave top situation, typically speaking, that means that this is wave 1, wave 2. So we are currently in the third wave, and third wave should bring us somewhere in this region, close to this trend line here. So that is why I placed my profit target here. Same scenario as the US 2000. If I draw my line here, you can see we have a sort of broad positive divergence situation. So that should bring price to this level and possibly below. Okay, so that's the US 30. The next one is the US 500. Same scenario. You can see if I take you to the daily time frame, you can see the same scenario here. Price has moved up to a high, gave us a low point here because of this level of support, got up and did not have enough power to break the initial high. So I based my trade off of that and I took that trade. And you can see the same scenario as well. Price has broken this trend line and is heading down. So all of them are based off of the US index. So I believe that they are all doing the same thing right now. And the next one I want to show you guys is the AUS 200. I haven't placed any trade on it, but I just wanted to show you guys this great Elliott wave opportunity here. We have the first wave here, second wave. I'm on the 4-hour time frame, by the way. And you can see by the action of the EMA 200, you can see that we are actually in an uptrend. Okay, so I intend to take this trade to the upside, and it is going to be a swing trade. So what I'm actually waiting for is for the wave 4 to consummate, and then I will trade the fifth wave. Okay, so if I take you to the daily time frame here, you can see sorry about the lines, but I have to leave these lines on. But you can see here that after moving from way down here, we are in a channel in this area, and of course a channel is a continuation pattern for those of you who are familiar with patterns. So once we are done with this channel, I expect prices to move higher, possibly to this upper thick blue trend line here, which is the trend line I drew from the monthly time frame. I'm not going to go to the monthly because all these lines will confuse your view. So I'm just going to stop at the daily here. But based on what I'm seeing here, I can see a very valid wave bottom situation, or a 1, 2, 3, or an Elliott wave bull wave situation. So we are currently meandering in the fourth wave. So I've decided to leave the fourth wave alone, and you can see how choppy it is. So this tells you that you are in the fourth wave. Now, if you are not familiar with Elliott wave, then you may not understand this. But because the second wave is came down as low as the 79%, I expect that wave 4 should get as low as 23. If I can just show you guys that 23.6%. Okay, so you need to read up on your Fibonacci levels to understand that. But basically, according to the law of alternation, if we have a deep retracement on wave 2, then wave 4 cannot be deep. Okay, and if we have a simple correction wave 2, wave 4 will be complex. And you can see how simple wave 2 is, giving us a sort of zigzag formation. Okay, and it looks like wave 3 is setting out to be a sort of a series of double corrections, probably made up of flat corrections. Okay, so I'm actually waiting it out, and typically speaking, I expect that somewhere along this black line that I drew here, we should have the beginning of wave 5. Okay, either way, I'll be waiting for wave 5 to start, then I will place that trade. So I just wanted to show you guys this so that you will know that trading forex doesn't have to be simple. A lot of you base your trades and say I trade only with indicators, or I'm a price action trader. You don't have to think like that. You have to be very flexible. There are certain trades you can take, you just use the action of price, and there are certain trades you take and you have to use indicators. Okay, so try to be flexible as a trader so that you will always have room to learn new things. So I hope that this was instructional for you guys, and as always, I remain your friend David. Thank you and happy trading. Bye for now.